guys, what's up? It's Megan here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a July TBR video. Now on this TBR I have a ton of fantasy books because I am in a serious fantasy mood right now. Usually I read more contemporary and realistic fiction, but I've recently just been super into fantasy and that's all I've been wanting to read. So yeah, let's get started. So the first book I have is Misfits by Jen Kalanita. This book is about a girl named Devin who goes to the Royal Academy and she doesn't want to be there at all. She would much rather be spending her time with animals and taking care of them and developing her connection with them because she can talk to and understand animals. But while she's at the Royal Academy, she realizes that it might not be what it seems, and that there are deep secrets within the academy, and she reveals something that could change Enchantasia forever. So I'm super excited to read this book. I'm currently on chapter 7, so I'm 70 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I've read one of Jen Kalanita's before. I read the first book in her other series, the Fairy Tale Reform series. I believe that book is flunked. I have not continued with the series, but I do want to continue with it in the future. So yeah. The next book I have is Artemis Fowl by Ian Colfer. I believe that's how you say his name. This book is about a 12-year-old Artemis Fowl who is a millionaire, genius, and above all, a criminal mastermind. And in this book, he ends up kidnapping a fairy, but he does not realize how dangerous the fairies are. And then just chaos ensues, I guess. I got this book from my aunt a little while ago, and I haven't had the desire to read it just because it's really long. But I didn't realize until I just opened it that the text is pretty big, and I could probably read it pretty quickly. And now I'm super excited to read it. The next book I have is Will Wilder and the Relic of Perilous Falls. Yes, this is the first book in a series, and it is by Raymond Ario. I'm just gonna say his name like that. But this book is about a boy who ends up unleashing some demons and creatures from a ancient relic in his family's museum, and it's about him trying to regain the powers he gained through that process. And so I'm excited to read this book. I also got this book from my aunt. She sent it to us a little while ago for me and my sister, and I haven't read it yet, but it gives me Percy Jackson vibes, even though it's not Percy Jackson, but just from the cover I get Percy Jackson vibes, and so I'm kind of loving that. The next book I have is Jack by Liesl Shirtliff. I read the other book that they have written, which is Rump. These books are basically a deeper look into different fairy tales. So this one is a deeper look into Giant Beanstalk, and the other one, Rump, is a deeper look into Rumpelstiltskin. I read Rump a couple of years ago, actually 4 or 5 years ago, for a school project, and I really enjoyed it. And I've had this book for a little while and I haven't read it yet, but I'm super excited to read it. They also have one on Red Riding Hood, and I think there's another one that came out a couple years ago or recently that I've been wanting to read, but super excited to read this. The next book I have is a contemporary, but also has a kind of fantasy element because it's based on a fairy tale, and that is Geekerella by Ashley Poston, whatever. And part of the reason I want to read this book is because I recently watched one of Jesse the Reader's reading vlogs, and in it he talked about The Princess and the Fangirl, and I really just had this desire to read Geekerella. I've had Geekerella for almost a year now and I haven't read it yet. But this is basically about fandom culture. It's like a retelling of Cinderella. This girl is in love with this show called movie called Starfield, and she ends up getting an invitation. Is it? No. Okay. She ends up meeting one of the stars of the show, and they have a connection, and just magic and contemporary goodness ensues, I guess. And I think I'm really gonna like it. I love fandom culture. It's one of the things that define me as a person, I think, and I'm super excited to read this book. Now, the last physical book I have is The Girl Who Could Not Dream by Sarah Beth Durst. I got this book a little while ago for school reading, and then I didn't end up reading it, and I chose another book for my project. But I've had this book, and of course I had the desire to read it now. This book is about a girl whose parents own a bookshop, but on the other side of the bookshop they have a store where they sell dreams. And Sophie, the main character, loves this part of her parents' shop because she has never had a dream herself, and so she's always been very intrigued and she loves it. But one day the dreams are stolen and her parents go missing, and then she has to figure out where they went and uncover the secrets of what's going on. And yeah, super excited to read this. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. And yeah. So the next book I want to read is an ebook. The next 3 books are ebooks. But the next book I want to read is The Rose Society. The Rose Society is by Marie Lu, and I recently read her other book, which is the first one in the series, called The Young Elites. I read it because a friend had to read it for school, and then he recommended it to me because he said he absolutely loved it, and I loved it as well. I thought it was so good, and I love the world, and I'm so excited to dive back in with The Rose Society, and I'm so excited. So the next book I want to read is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. This is the last book in the Percy Jackson, like the original series, before he added on with the 2 other series, I think. But I'm super excited to finish it. I've been putting off reading The Last Olympian for months. I finished the 4th book like months ago, and I've been really scared because I don't want it to end. But all good things have to come to an end, and I know that there's 2 more series that I can read after it, so I'm just gonna put my feelings aside and finish the story. So the last and final book I have for this TBR is Every Heart a Doorway by Sean McGuire. I've heard about this book so much on YouTube, and I am so excited to read it. And all of the other books in the series. I don't know if I'll get to any of them this month, but I definitely want to read Every Heart a Doorway. I'm just super excited. So this book is about, I think, kids who go to like fantasy worlds, and when they come back, like they just have to deal with like being back in the real world and not part of this fantasy world anymore. So yeah, those are all the books that I have on my July TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, you've got to like, you've got to subscribe, and you've got to comment down below what you want to see in my next video. I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Bye guys.